Kings are approaching 50 wins.
Mm-hmm.
They should head into a I'll call it a difficult stretch. They're going to head into a meaningful stretch, certainly for their opponents. Beginning on Monday, we'll believe they'll have 48 wins at that point, with 4 games left against the Pelicans and the Mavericks in a back-to-back situation. The Golden State Warriors closing out the regular season portion of the Golden One Center on Friday, and then they'll end Sunday afternoon in Denver. Again, some version of the Kings will play some version of the Nuggets on that Sunday game. So that leaves 4 games to get 2 more victories and land at 50. 50, you mentioned this will be the 6th time? 6th time in franchise history that the Kings win 50 games, should they be able to do that. Do expectations change at all if they hit 50 wins?
For me personally, no. For some people, I could see that.
Can I have a spinoff related to something we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, like Power Book 2.
Yeah. And Force and Raising Kanan and all the spinoffs. If they get the 2 seed, does that change expectations? They don't go hand in hand. One could happen without the other.
So when you talk about expectations, like you're thinking like, all right,
would it be
2 seed? They need to win 1 round.
Yeah, basically.
Nah, I wouldn't. Me personally, I wouldn't. Maybe you could say I'm being soft on them or whatever, but no, there's no expectations. And part of this may sound like a contradiction, but part of it is the fact that it is their first time here. It's not really a contradiction, because we do acknowledge it is different. There are like the playoffs, and it is a different ball game. There are different things that go on about it. Playing the same team a few times in a row, the pressure of the games is heightened, the coverage, all this. So it is different. There is adjustment to be made to it for a guy like De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk. Those are different situations. So there is a bit of a caveat there where it's say you have to win your first playoff series, De'Aaron Fox. Now, they didn't do that for Devin Booker or John Moran or anybody else. So why are we telling De'Aaron Fox you have to win your first playoff series, or it's a letdown or a failure or anything like that? I'm not going to do that. So me personally, no, expectations won't change.
I don't think I don't think they should for anyone. I mean, of course, you can feel however you want to. If you have expectations of this Kings team winning a championship, like, good for you. I don't see a scenario that I find particularly surprising in the Western Conference. I don't like Denver. If Denver went to the finals, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't like Minnesota either. If Minnesota went to the finals, I wouldn't be terribly surprised. I think it would be more indicative of how open the conference is. Of course, they lost Naz Reid, as Shams Charania reported last night, with a broken wrist. So that's some time.
Shams is late.
Well, that's some time that he's going to be away. And so it's going to affect them a little bit.
Yeah.
But overall, the West is so literally wide open. Surprises happen out east. Boston's not there. Milwaukee's not there. Philadelphia's not there. As good as Cleveland is, if Cleveland is in the NBA Finals, I will find that surprising. One of those top 3 teams not representing the East, to me, would be surprising.
That's a good little quote that you said there. I'd be a little surprised if Cleveland. I wouldn't be floored if Cleveland made it.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I'd be, because it means Milwaukee didn't, and it means Boston didn't. I'm not going to hang my no. I'm not, because I can't bring myself to say I'm surprised Philadelphia lost the series.
So would you be surprised if Philadelphia made the finals?
No.
Okay.
No, the Philly can't surprise me either way. And if they get to the finals, I'll acknowledge. I'm assuming they get to the finals. James Harden's playing well. I don't think James Harden's going to have a traditional James Harden playoff series, and Philadelphia is going to win anyway, especially how tough those teams are in the East. And if they win, I'll give Harden his flowers. But I've never seen it from him. Like, I've seen him shrivel up and disappear. And that's fully what I'm expecting to happen. him to shrivel up and disappear.
That's
And if he
fair.
doesn't, he deserves his flowers. And I don't. Yeah, maybe I will be a little surprised if Philadelphia is there, just because it's further than he's gone before.
Yeah, I think I'd be. Philadelphia is so strange because
Joel's
I
so
think they got
good.
all the components to be able to make it to the finals, but I think I would be surprised if James Harden, being even the number 2 on a team, got them to an NBA Finals. I'd be a little surprised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though Joel's having the season that he's having.
Yeah, I mean they'd have to go through, much like Cleveland, they'd have to go through, Boston
Mm-hmm.
and Milwaukee potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, I mean, if Cleveland beat them, then if Cleveland beat Milwaukee, then Philly might have. You get what
That
I'm
would
saying.
be surprising. Cleveland beating Milwaukee to me would be surprising.
Do you feel any way about last night?
No. I mean, Boston beat the crap out of
Beat the
Milwaukee.
hell out of them. Does it make? I want to ask the people. Does it make you feel any better about what happened last week to the Kings in Boston? Because remember, it was. Oh, that just goes to show they're not ready.
There's levels to this.
There's levels to this. Kings aren't ready. All right, settle down. Like these, what it told me is these things happen. Boston just lost to Washington the other night.
That's all it is. These types of games happen.
Yeah. Poor Chris Middleton.
I'm trying to pretend like I'm not choking on water.
You okay?
I think so. If you see me reach for the mic, you know it's not going well.
But yeah, I mean, I look at those two teams. When you talk about Cleveland and Philly, I guess I'd be surprised. The other two, I wouldn't be. In the West, to your original point, to the NBA Finals. In the West, to your original point, I mean, I think you can make an argument for everybody.
Everyone.
I'd be surprised if OKC got there.
Okay,
OKC,
that's a good one.
New Orleans.
That's a good one.
I'd be surprised if New Orleans, when we talk about gets to the finals.
Yeah, no,
I'd be surprised.
But is it less of a story about the team that makes it and more of a story about the conference? Because there is no dominant team in this conference. Like from 4 to 10, it's wide open, and there's not 3, 60-win teams above them. What does the East look like right now?
The East. The funny thing is, the East looks a little funny. Like the East is really top heavy.
It's 55, 53, and 50. The West right now is 51, 48, and 46.
So I think Milwaukee and Boston are just like the 2 best teams in basketball. But when you talk about,
you don't think Philly's the 3rd?
I put Philly as the 3rd. I would, if I had to rank them today, I'd put Philly as the 3rd. I think about Denver. I really would.
For the 3rd?
I think about
I was going to ask you, would you put Cleveland above Denver for the 4th?
I think about Denver, and that's me showing respect to the season that they've had. But then you've got a caveat where, like, maybe you don't put Philly or Cleveland ahead of Phoenix. And their record.
Well, Phoenix is
their record isn't. But if we did a power
Phoenix,
go ahead.
Isn't Phoenix a what if? Aren't you if you ranked Phoenix that high, like above Philadelphia or Cleveland or Denver, aren't you doing it because of what you think they might be rather than what they've actually shown you to be?
Right, but we're doing the same for Denver. Denver has shown us that they're this 50-win team, but we don't necessarily
I just don't like them.
We don't think that's who they are, so we have a conversation about putting Cleveland ahead of them.
Well, yeah, but that's a difference of let me not talk out of it. Yeah, that's a difference of 3 games for Phoenix. That's a difference of 10. That's a lot. 10 wins, not games, wins. That's a lot. 10 wins is a lot.
But I was gonna say though, those 3 teams, I'll put Philly in there. You didn't put Cleveland in there. 4. East is nasty after that. The East is kind of.
What about
the East is kind of ratchet.
Your New York Knicks?
I like the Knicks, but who knows what's going on with this Julius
Yeah.
Randle situation.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that
that's
playing
tough.
situation, them teams sorry. Miami's sorry. Atlanta's sorry.
Yeah, it looks like Brooklyn's getting the 6.
Yeah.
Looks like Brooklyn. I haven't looked at because it really doesn't matter, but I haven't looked at Brooklyn's schedule at all to see what this looks like for them headed down this final stretch.
Toronto's sorry.
Oh man, Brooklyn's they've got they've got Atlanta, they got Utah, Minnesota, Detroit, Orlando, and Philly. Yeah, they're getting the 6. Yeah, Brooklyn should be getting the 6.
So I say all that to say, I think to a certain degree, I think the records and what's going on in the West is you can contribute it a little bit to the conference as a whole being stronger.
Okay.
Because
So they're beating each other up.
Beating each other up a little bit. I mean, that has a little bit to do with it. Health has a little bit to do with it.
Sure. Mid-season trades.
Mid-season trades
Yeah.
have a little bit. It all factors in. But these teams out east, we thought the East was going to be, this knockdown drag out from like 1 to 9 or 10. And these Eastern Conference teams just aren't that good.
If I gave you one team in the West and said, Kings are going to the conference finals, or we place this scenario to give the best chance for the Kings to go to the conference finals. So I say you can avoid one team to get there. What team would it be?
Phoenix.
Yeah, me too. It feels like this whole thing is running around Phoenix. Like the NBA orbits feels like it really circles around Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.